My ex-wife's new husband demanded I triple my child support. What I discovered later wrecked their little fantasy. I married Talia when I was 26. We had a daughter, Nola, a year later. I did everything. Diapers, late nights, the works. Thought I was living the dream. Then, money started disappearing. Over 8 months, she burned through $18,000 from our joint savings. The breaking point came when I checked my personal savings, the account I'd built since before we met, and found it nearly empty. $22,000 gone. Turned out Talia had a gambling problem. Online poker. The $40,000 I'd saved for years thrown away on bad beats. The divorce was brutal for her. I got the house. No spousal support. The judge ordered her to repay $20,000 in installments. We split custody 50-50. 6 months later, Talia met Corin. Boat shoes, popped collar, called me chief. Talked about his wealth management career for 15 minutes, but never actually went to an office. Then Corin started calling me. First call, just making sure we're on the same page about Nola's expenses. Second call, given your income, maybe you should cover more. That repayment thing is killing us. Third call, your child support isn't enough. Talia's cutting back her hours to be more present for Nola. She's voluntarily reducing her income and expects me to compensate. If you're living with her, why aren't you covering the gap? Silence. Then, that's none of your business. But my income is your business. Get a real job instead of playing financial advisor on YouTube. 2 weeks later, I got served. Talia was petitioning to increase child support by 45%. But here's what had been eating at me for years. Nola didn't look like me. Different eyes, different facial structure. I chalked it up to genetics being weird. But now, with them squeezing me for more money, that doubt came roaring back. I told my lawyer, make the paternity test a condition of any modification. They want more money? They agree to the test first. Talia's response came through texts. You're questioning if Nola is yours after 5 years? You're insane. Deadbeat. The custody exchange that week turned into a nightmare. Talia and Corin were waiting in the school parking lot. Parents milling around. Kids loading into cars. We need to talk about this paternity test nonsense, Talia said, marching toward me. That's between our lawyers. You're trying to abandon your daughter. Other parents started noticing. Phones came out. She shoved me, both hands against my chest, then swung, an open-handed slap that caught me across the face, hard enough to make my ear ring. The parking lot went silent. You just assaulted me in front of witnesses, I said, pulling out my phone. I'm calling the police. Her face went white. The cops took statements. One parent had filmed everything. Talia got charged with assault. The court ordered the DNA test 3 days later. Results came back on day 21. 0% probability that you're Nola's biological father. Completely excluded, but I needed one more answer. Can we request Corin submit to testing? He shows up 6 months after our divorce, acting like he already knows everything about Nola. What if he's known all along? Corin's test came back 5 days later. 99.99% match. He was Nola's biological father. Then we subpoenaed their text messages, found conversations from 10 months earlier. They'd done an at-home ancestry DNA kit. Corin's results showed a paternal match to Nola. They knew. For 10 months, they knew he was the father, and they still filed to increase my support while he contributed nothing. One text from Corin to Talia, don't tell him yet. Keep collecting for now. The hearing was brutal. The judge read through everything with disgust. So let me understand correctly, he said to Talia. You conceived a child with Mr. Corin while married to the plaintiff. You allowed him to believe he was the father for 5 years. You collected child support while owing him repayment for funds you stole. You then married the biological father, confirmed his paternity 10 months ago, and filed to increase child support from the non-biological father while living with the actual father who contributes nothing. Is that accurate? Talia's lawyer tried to interrupt. It's not complicated, the judge said. It's fraud. Paternity vacated. Child support terminated. Corin ordered onto the birth certificate. Full restitution of $32,000 plus legal fees and punitive damages. Total judgment, $75,000. Joint liability, both equally responsible. 90 days to establish payment or face contempt charges and jail time.